Today was an interesting day. I said goodbye to my coworkers and I'm going to be starting my new job on Monday. And that feeling that I'm getting from that has made me want to make this video. I tried to make this video a few times now over the past 3 weeks, and every time I would just get really angry. But today I'm feeling good. So we're going to go talk about this. In order for me to tell you about what has happened, I need to take a step back. Right? I need to talk about what led to this point or why I thought this was going to happen in the first place. Because I knew it was going to happen one day. I just didn't know when. There is this feeling out there for me in the world that people cannot have different perspectives and voice those perspectives without, I say, being threatened. And that is a horrible thing, right? The best ideas in this world come about because people have different opinions, right? We all have a certain idea in our head, and it's happened to everybody. Another person has come along and showed you there's a different way of doing things, right? Like there's a reason why people teach us because we could figure out different things about the world. We can figure out how to do things differently. People have different mindsets, right? Like let's say even Elon Musk. There's been a ton of people that have come out in the world that have come up with crazy ideas, and should they have listened or shut up or have just their ideas just crushed, we would never have the inventions, progress, change that we do now. Right? So I think it's a terrible spot that we find ourselves in society right now. And I feel like that's just been sped up due to the whole pandemic and everybody just staying at home. I don't know if it's just people have become stronger voices now that they can just use the internet, they can use apps, they can hide behind fake accounts. You don't have to come up and actually tell somebody your actual opinion. You don't, we all know that, like in a class, if you have a question, there's people that have maybe the same question, different questions, but they won't voice that opinion. Something about the internet lets people speak their minds a little more freely. And it's okay as long as it's done in a tolerant way, right? Like no name calling, just constructive criticism, things like that. But unfortunately, there are people that are willing to take that one step further. And this is the part where I'm going to narrow this thing down a little further. So, for those of you who don't know, I have a channel that I made videos about a card game. That card game is Weiss Schwarz. It's an anime card game, kind of small. It's not as big as Pokemon, Magic, and all that. It's probably not even in the top 10 of top card games here. But in the end, people love it. It's highly collectible. There's anime characters and all that stuff. And I knew when I first started making videos about this that there would be people that would take exception to what I am talking about, right? And I'm not talking about the people that would just call me names, right? Like people call me names, whatever, I just ban them, I don't care. Um, there are people that are willing to take it one step further. And I made a conscious effort. If you've ever noticed in my videos, there may have been blurred parts in it. I made a conscious effort not to reveal my name because I knew, even though people may have said I was paranoid, that one day I would be getting such comments. So there was a big thing on Facebook. There are two big Facebook groups. It's a global chat, and it's a global Weiss Schwarz group, and then there's also a North America group. One day, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, there were people arguing about grading cards. Some guy put out a post about grading cards, and it just went downhill from there. The admins had to step in, put like a pinned post announcement, whatever the heck they did, about how you shouldn't be doing this. It's toxic. It kind of pushes people out of the community, right? So I knew from that moment on that this thing will probably come my direction. And I was correct in that. So I don't know. I think it was within a day to a couple days later. I showed some of these comments to some people. I've showed the people that it was referring to, and I wanted to make sure the people that it referenced were okay with me continuing on doing what I'm doing. And everybody was okay with it, like pretty much right away. Um, the people that wrote these comments, I would say credit to the people that used their real account, right, and actually said what they had to say. Of course, I'm just going to ban them. But the people that created, let's say, the same day accounts, those are the people that, had a strong opinion that, are what I'm referring to as, they have a more powerful voice on the internet, but again, hid behind a fake account. And I I didn't take any credibility in some of these threats, right? Like I didn't think people were actually going to act on it, just because of the nature of this. Again, we're not talking about like politics. So I'm just gonna just say that, like, gun control, global climate change. We're not talking about any of this stuff. We're talking about cards. We're talking about cards that people are willing to be that angry that you're willing to hope that violence comes to me, family, the person in the interview. Private information would be released about those people, right? Like that blows my mind that we've come to this spot in society that you actually hope that those things happen to people, that it's kind of it puts me at a loss of words, right? That it I thought I was over the anger, but I'm actually kind of angry. It's not anger that it's not that I think it will happen to me or to those people. I think it's just that we're in that spot in the world that this is happening, that it's okay to write these things or something. Like someone thinks it's okay. So it's all fun and games to say, this guy's an idiot, this guy is a clown on Facebook or whatever. And again, I've had my share of people saying insulting things to me, um, as I made these videos. And again, I didn't. I mean, I just went ahead and banned them. Like the people that have different opinions from me, and there's been plenty, right? Like I'm not going to say the names. They were in the comments. If you've ever read the comments, you'll see the comments. I appreciate anybody giving me those comments about, like, what you said was wrong. No, I have this opinion. Your opinion's different than mine. But that's, again, perfect. That's what I've wanted all this time. I've wanted discussions. I don't want people that are always going to agree with me. The people that I've had on, to talk to me, we didn't always agree on the same things. And I'm not looking for that. That's not what the point of this is. I could care less if you agree with me 0% of the time or 100% of the time, right? Here's a quote that I have from Classroom of the Elite, episode number 8. That is not the one I wanted. I did not try that. I must have hit like right on it. And I wanted, go back one. This one. This is the one I wanted. Nothing is as dangerous as an ignorant friend. A wise enemy is to be preferred. And again, to me, what that means again is I want somebody that's going to, um, let's say, have a difference of opinion. Like I don't need someone that's always going to agree with me. I still doesn't think this is kind of hilarious that it was on abandon all you enter here. Dang, I did not try that. Right? I don't need people that are going to agree with me all the time. That's not what this channel was about. This channel, the actual reason for this channel is right here. This is it. I wanted to help Weiss out. I wanted to grow the community. I wanted to help new players. I saw new players, collectors, investors being taken advantage of. And I couldn't just sit by and let that happen because there's no one else that's talking about this stuff. Right? Like you don't want to enter a game and have no clue about anything about it. You need information, and unfortunately, I'm not saying I had all the answers, but at the very least I was willing to talk about it. And that's what I was looking to do. So, the people that rightfully got banned were the ones that are just saying use your I think one of them was like you're a doucher. That was it. Bam, gone. Okay, I don't care. Like, I don't need people that are willing to say that. If you're going to tell me that, hey, your idea about mapping of prices, and for anybody that doesn't know what that means, didn't see that video, it's this. Map. I was talking about a map, minimum advertised price. Price. Right here. The thing from Flesh and Blood. It also made me laugh at the fact that when you talk about a different game, people like immediately dismiss your ideas because it's about another game. It's like that whole I didn't look up the quote about why about history, learning from past history, and how about learning from other people's mistakes, or other people have better ideas. So I find it hilarious that people immediately dismiss ideas if it comes from different games. So again, why this channel was created was to go over this list, specifically this list. And let me go back to it. Here it is. All right, there it is. Here's another version, as you can see on the screen here. I wanted to get to a place where we could start solving a lot of the issues in Weiss, and meanwhile showcasing to new people why you want to collect it, the pitfalls of it. And as you can see here, I don't have Visio. I'm not going to go buy Visio. I have Publisher, but I didn't want to use it, so I did it in Word. I have this chart, and I think some of the biggest criticism of that video was the fact that this isn't going to work because now you're going to have less availability, you have not enough LGSs, blah, blah, blah. When I bring up these videos, it's not about solving Weiss's problem in one shot. It's impossible to do that. As you can see here, this one problem leads to potentially more problems, and you can go from there. So this one is on minimum pricing, right? So there's going to be another one about how to regain LGSs, about play sets themselves, about actually if you're going to leave it as all the options to buyers, like backpack distributors, online sellers, actual physical stores, if you leave that, or just have stores do it, right? There are so many avenues, so many issues with Weiss right now, from distribution to what else we got? Distribution, advertising, player participation, mapping, super niche game, sign cards, old set, supplies, reprint, blah, blah, blah. There's so many to do. if you do it, it's like a puzzle, right? Do you ever see like a jigsaw puzzle? If you ever played one of those games where every time you beat a chapter, there would be like another piece of the jigsaw puzzle filled in. This is the exact same thing. I wasn't going to have this all settled just by having this right here was not the cure to all of Weiss's problems, right? Right? Like this right here. This was not it. This is many, many more videos. And realistically, at the end of the day, what I wanted to do with all of your opinions, all the feedback, I was going to make an actual strategic, transformational, uh, let's say transformational plan of Weiss Schwarz in English. Because as we know, it's different in JP, it's different in English, the different strategies that they would have to do, and actually present that to Bushy Road. That's truly what I wanted to do, and my whole idea was it's a plan that would need to be enacted over 2 years to actually get to that point. So that was pretty disappointing that things turned out the way they did. I think I think everybody has I like to believe that everybody has good intentions, right? That people are just trying to protect their game. And it's funny and all to make jokes. It's funny to put little clown faces out. It's funny to do those little laugh emojis on everything. But there's a point where that becomes, I guess, almost has that feeling of being acceptable to just basically insult people. And then that opens the gateway to have people that think it's okay to actually throw out threats. And I'm not saying like, that one funny meme is going to do it. It's when you have a lot of people start snowballing into that, that's when you had the issues. So again, when I saw that post come up and I saw those admins write what they wrote, I knew it was coming for me. I knew these comments were eventually going to come. And like I said, I can take it. If you're going to just insult me, whatever, I'll just ban you. If you're going to write constructive criticism, I take it. I like it. I enjoy it. We can have an honest discussion. I've done that with plenty of people at this point. But when it crosses that line, that's when you have to ask yourself, what are we doing here? Seriously, like what are you doing? It's a card game. You're willing to, are you really willing to threaten people over a card game? I think that's when you have to look in yourself and say, you know what, maybe I've put in, I need to change something in my life, right? Like maybe you're not happy with some kind of current situation. Maybe this card game is a convenient way to relieve some stress and it's causing you even more stress. I think maybe it's a good time to take a break from that. And or if you need to talk to somebody about what's happening. But this isn't worth going down that road that you're willing to threaten people about it. And I would hope that based on all this, the community has second thoughts on what's been happening over the past couple weeks, months, right? Because the stuff that I've highlighted, there's nothing we can change about it. There's honestly nothing we can change about it. There are always going to be collectors and resellers. This has been, like I said, this has been happening before March of 2021. People have been buying stuff. People have been reselling stuff. It's just more apparent to people now that this is going on. And as you saw, if you haven't seen, the JP signature prices on cards have gone up, right? People have been buying that too. If you actually watched my video with the reseller, then you would know that that was about to come, as he did ask about that. I'm not saying he's the one that did it. If you listen to his perspective and my perspective on that video, you would have known that was coming. And, again, if it was always going to happen that way. Like what happened in Two Wise over the past year was always going to happen this way. And if I came out with no videos on it, if other people didn't come out with videos of it, it was still going to happen. And that's the hard part to accept, right? Like we always think that we have some kind of impact on the daily lives of the world, but we don't. We really don't. Like what I do every day in my job probably doesn't affect anybody. You would never know that I've done anything and it makes no significant impact to you. And we could probably say that about the majority of people in the world, right? I'm not saying there aren't important people in the world. There are. Statistically, though, if you look at over the amount of people that live on this earth, that number of people that make some sort of impact is very, very small. And when we think about this in the context of this, if I didn't bring it up on a video, if other people didn't bring it up on the video, it would have still happened the same way. There's nothing that I could have done to change it, and the reseller had nothing he did to it. So to take it out on people just talking about what's going on, or as in the case of the reseller, actually doing things, it's not going to make a huge difference in your daily life. And if you put it in that perspective, that this is a card game and you're willing to threaten somebody on it, then again, I would just say you really need to talk it through with somebody about what's been going on and seeing if there's anything else in your life that really needs to change. Okay, so I definitely am going to go back to making videos. How many videos I make, I don't know. I'm not really sure. This in a way tainted me a little bit to it, but I've been actually making videos all this time. I've been updating my sheet all this time. I need to go back through my videos and make sure that there is no sort of names that I have put out there that could be linked back to me. Anything like on the screen that I've shown. That's probably why, if you never noticed, why this over here is on the screen. Like to the right, Microsoft Word has my name sitting there because I'm like logged in, so I don't log out. So I just make the thing, I make the file go over two screens so that you can't see my name. Right, so I need to go back and take a look at any of the videos to make sure that's all clear. I mean, if you really wanted to find me, you could find me. Weiss is a small community. If you don't realize this, if you've ever, people can make all the accounts they want, but you're all on, I would say, in different places, right? You're on Twitter, you're on Twitch, you're on Facebook, you're on YouTube. Like, you could find anybody if you really wanted to hard enough. So, again, I may be wasting my time doing all this, but there was a reason for it. So, I hope that what we gain from all of this is that it's okay to have a different opinion, right? And your opinion is valuable, I think. It's the only way we're going to move forward as a community, as a game, as a society, is by everybody just respecting another one's opinion. You may not agree with it, but everybody has a valid point and a valid perspective. Again, I'm not talking about anything crazy like you don't deserve to be alive because you're X, right? Like, I'm not saying anything like that. I'm saying like you're okay to say like Green is better or Miku is better than Nino, or what else is here? what is inside of this thing? Sucralose is horrible for you, or Diet Coke tastes like Coke, which it doesn't. There's no way it does. There's a ton of people that told me that, and they're 100% wrong. But you get my point. I just want us to have a good time. Let's just play some games. And you know what? People are going to buy this thing, people are going to sell it. And I'd rather know about it than close my ears and shut my eyes and spout a bunch of violent things at people. Again, it does nothing for anybody. And it's Friday, so I hope you have a wonderful Friday. I'll see you soon.